Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday, the 10th of June. We've got interesting, interesting developments. Sorry, I've been trying to shake this cold and a little dozy. I apologize anyone I've canceled their one-on-ones for today, but and they also changed my blood pressure medication. So somebody keep track of me, okay? If I call out some weird trades, you guys are gonna have to watch me. Okay? Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get right into it. It's like anybody see Stripes with Bill Murphy when he's driving the cab and he's like, maybe I shouldn't have drank all that cough syrup. The lady in the back just starts freaking out. Anyway. Oh, goodness. Well, we had a very interesting overnight. I can't find any source of news other than inventory that caused this. There were upper stops here that we ran in the overnight. And we had some decent distribution up here in the 60-30 area in the early part of the Globex, which is the night session. And then, of course, we lost the bid, came down. And then I marked this level here at 59.92, where the poor low from Sunday night was. And we looked underneath it and came back up. So there are bids down here, right? So we know that in the night session, there's buyers here, and those buyers have been steadily moving up. The bids are now around 6,005. Overnight inventory is, I don't know what it is. I'd say it's mixed, right? I didn't see any catalyst for the move other than somebody maybe dropped a large buy order, right? And so we repaired that poor low in Globex today, Raj. But we only went under it for like 5 seconds and then came right back up. So there are still bids down there at 59.90. Now, after all that drama, right, of looking underneath yesterday's range and above yesterday's range, like we did a look above and fail, we did a look below and fail. So after all that drama, we are right now back to business as usual. No change. There's really no change, right? So we're going to open inside yesterday's range and inside yesterday's value area, which we call cost basis, right? That's the cost basis, right? That's where 70% of yesterday's goods were transacted, right? Yeah, I think we had a poor high yesterday too, right? It's a lot of forced trading up here, Raj, because nobody really wants to nobody really wants to go deep on a long or on a short yet. So the wholesalers are just quietly getting rid of their inventory, right? And so I'm looking for back and forth trading until we take out yesterday's high or yesterday's low. Till then, right, we had change to the upside that failed, and we had change to the downside that failed. So we're right back where we started. So how do you use that in an intelligent, practical way, right? Because our whole thing here now, and the focus of this room, is to use this information in a practical way. So practically what that means is those of you who like breakouts and are thinking, okay, it's going to 60.50, well, you got to cool your jets until it takes out yesterday's high. Those of you who are thinking it's going to fall apart and want to short the hell out of everything, well, it's not going to do that until it takes out 59.90. So between 59.90, right, which is the overnight low, and I'd say 60.30, it's just going to bounce around in between that. So how do we make money when it bounces around? Well, we have this handy dandy thing called balance, and we have our look below and fail trades and our look above and fail trades. And let's just get to those, right? So we always want to show people how to make money in a practical manner in this market, right? Now, I saw something like there was this guy on Twitter, and he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and he was talking about Bitcoin hit 112, it's never going to go higher than 112. I'm like, really? Right? But there's no explanation for it, right? So I'm like, okay, right? We'll see, right? We have to have an explanation for why business happens, right? Since we're not prophets, we're traders, right? We're trying to make a buck, right? And what we do to make a buck is we use this little concept called inventory and order flow. Okay? It's not complicated, right? It's simple. It ain't easy, but it's simple, okay? And simply what we're doing is we're trying to figure out where the bid is, and then we'll work off that. Now, what does that mean, right? Now, one of the guys in our room, Omni, hey, Moran, how you doing? His uncle, God rest his soul, was one of my best clients. We lost him last year in December. And he'd call me up every morning, when he had an active deal, and he'd have millions of shares of stock. And he'd just, the phone would ring, and I'd go, trading. Or sometimes I would go, torture chamber. And Jazz would go, Gorilla, you big bitch. Go find the bid. Click. And those were my trading instructions for the day. So when the market opened on whatever stock he had position in, I'd go and I'd tap the bids. Tap, 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 which means sell, right? Go sell a little bit, sell 5,000 shares. Say the stock's $1.50. Sell 5,000, sell 5,000, sell 5,000. And see if that stock, it'll go from $1.50 to $1.40 down to $1, right? You tap it down to $1, and then all of a sudden, you sell 5,000, you sell another 5,000, you sell another 5,000, and the bid doesn't move. So that's where you know where the big buyer is, right? You have a size buyer when you tap those bids and they don't move, right? That's how you find the bid. And that's what market makers and that's what these algos and all of that stuff, that's what they're doing right now is they're trying to find the bid before the market opens, right? Now, yesterday, Leslie was in the room and she said something very, very, very telling. She said she was shorting, and it wouldn't move when she was shorting. So when she saw that it wasn't moving any lower, she flipped to the bid. So she found the bid, then she turned around and went long. And that's what we're trying to do in these markets, right? You short down to a level where the competitive selling stops, right? And where that selling stops, right, hopefully it's at an edge where you can do like a look below and fail, right? So it'll look below 60.15 and then come back up above it, right? Look below and fail. So you go long, we got a place to put your stop, and then if you know that there are sellers at 20, right? You sell into it, right? You want to get rid of your inventory before somebody else takes your customer, right? Because as soon as you are long, you are now a seller. As soon as you are short, you are now a buyer. That's the mechanics of trading. So if you're long, right, if you're long at 16 and you expect there to be sellers up here at 19 and a half, you may want to get out of your product at 18 and a half and just kind of scoop those buyers before these guys come in and start pounding it lower, right? And you can see this all very clearly from a 1-minute candle chart. You don't need any fancy software. You don't need to spend money for any expensive DOMs or nose print or bookmap or none of that stuff, right? It's really simple, right? None of that stuff existed over the last 1,000 years, and nobody needed it to trade then. You don't need it now. All you need to know is how the business works, a little common sense, and the ability to admit you're wrong quickly, right? That's what retail trading's about. Because we don't trade with a huge amount of money, our margin of error is very small, which means you have to admit you're wrong quickly. So don't be stubborn, because stubborn means broke, right? Nobody's buying size up here, Raj. This is all forced buying right now, right? This is forced buying and FOMO longs, right? You know as well as I do, if you hold a market steady, people will come in and buy it. They just will. They got nothing else to do. You sell it, it doesn't go down, you got to turn around and buy it. You can't do anything else, right? It's a two-way business. Now let's see if we could get over that 60-20. You know, and true, the market has been held up by shorts for the last couple of weeks. And I don't see any great liquidation yet, right? And that's making the price action a little crappier. The higher you go, the price action just ends up grinding slowly higher, right? Because large traders, they don't want to put together a huge position up here, right? Because cost basis, right? That's why we use cost basis. So, for example, let me show you guys something, right? If you look, here's a 4-hour candle wax chart, right? Where I had the original balance loan was 52.90 to 53.48. So when you look at that, that's where all the cost basis of the product was before these moves. So when you're buying here, you're buying at 8 times cost basis. So if you know a car is $100,000 and someone's selling it for $700,000, what's the likelihood it's going to be $1.4 million soon? You're buying it at the top, right? So I know that's difficult because, well, you're like, well, you can't short it. It's not going down. So while it's doing this, trade it back and forth, right? Trade it back and forth and don't wait, don't try those home run trades. Eventually it'll come apart when the sellers need to compete. But until that happens, just be patient and go for base hits. You know what I mean? A lot of people, hey Billy, how you doing? A lot of people feel bad because they missed this move, right? So they missed the up move, so they automatically think about shorting. And that's how they get you, right? You need to wait for the back side of the move. This is the front side of the move. This is the back side of the move. That's how you want to short, right? Let me just get rid of this volume profile. So these are 4-hour candles. Hey JR, how you doing? Right? Here's the front side of the move. The front side of the move is designed for players who are long here to dispose of their inventory, then they put it on sale. You'll notice it doesn't come back into cost basis. Right? It stops right where they bought it. Right? So what you want to do is you wait till that exhaustion comes in, and it's okay if you're not shorting it up here. Say if you're shorting it here, you could use a stop here and then use the lower levels to cover if you're a larger trader. But the only time you really want to short something is when you've found a seller. There's no reason shorting something unless you found the seller. If there's no seller, right, then what you want to do is these hit and run shorts, right? Like you short it here, it goes down, you cover, right? In an up move, there'll be a sideways move or a little sale, right? That's a backfill. You hit the backfill short and then you cover. How can we identify a seller's in place? Well, I'm glad you asked. I was waiting for someone to ask. You watch the offer, right? You watch the offer and you watch the tops of the candles. The top of the candle is where the seller initiates, and that's where they compete. So, for example, if we were to zoom in on these candles here, right? So there's the top right there. The top of that is where the sellers are competing. So you're selling up here, I come and undercut you. You undercut me, somebody else undercuts both of us. That forces price lower, right? So when the candle tops, the tops of the candles are consecutively lower, you can tell that the sellers are competing. Now, how do I know the top of the candle is the seller? Because I was the seller for 20 years, right? All I did my whole career was sell billions of shares of stock into U.S. equity markets. Created charts, got you guys to come in and buy stuff and sell it to you. So I know if I'm selling at 60.20 and a half and JR comes in and undercuts me at 60.19, I'll go 17, 18, and I'll start undercutting him because my cost basis is down here. So whether I sell it at 20 or whether I sell it at 19, I don't care. I just need to turn my inventory into cash, right? So when the offer starts to lift like it just did here, the seller doesn't need to sell under 18 anymore. They see buyers, so they raise price. Just pay attention to a 1-minute chart. If you have any kind of if you want to learn, sit and watch a 1-minute candle chart, draw some levels on it, and then watch a level and watch the offer. See how it comes up above 19 3/4? Now let's see if somebody buys the 20. Oh, we got a print. Then we printed 20/4, right? So the sellers at 19 3/4, they saw buyers. Pretend that this is a glass door, right? They see the buyers through the glass door, they raise price. If they didn't see buyers, they would lower price to capture buyers at lower levels. It's that simple, right? Back in the old days, when we used to ride horses to work, you would never short a stock unless you knew that there was a seller, right? In the old days, somebody would call and go, hey, ABCD stock, somebody deposited 5 million shares in our brokerage firm yesterday. They're going to be selling. That's going to move the price lower. Then you would short once you see them selling. Does that make sense? So the chart will give you the same kind of insider information in just a much more legal way. The problem is everybody wants to be the first and get the top. You don't have to. There's a lot of meat on the bone. You don't have to hit the top. Right? So for now, you see the sellers came back. So if I was short here, say I was short 19 1/4, my stop would be at the top of these candles. because that's where my seller is initiating. And then I'll go, they'll probably put some bids down here at 18 and see if I get hit. See what I mean? And if the market can't hit my buy orders, cover the trade. And that's how you scalp. So you're short, stop, bid, 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 and let the market come and hit you. If you cannot get filled on those bids, it means there's nothing for sale under that price. Hopefully this is helpful. This is a simple way that people have been trading for hundreds of years. You know, before all this fancy stuff. Hey, Marky, how you doing? Hang on. RUM? Rumble Inc. What the hell is that? Oh, that's quite a chart. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. What's the float? Rumble. Interesting name. It's 110 million shares in the float. It's only 15 million short. Stock's pretty locked up. It's like 60% held by insiders, 17% held by institutions. Usual suspects: Vanguard, Cantor, BlackRock, Geode. It's very thinly traded though, Mark. It trades less than 2 million shares a day. So we'll see. It's not a very active stock. It's a streaming service? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'd be careful trading those things. This is why I like to trade ES. Now, if you give me 50 million shares of this rum, I'll make you a market. And I'll guarantee a short squeeze. But on the retail side of those things, you don't really have that much control. Right? That's why I don't trade equities, right? When I trade equities, I like to have my hand firmly around the throat of the stock. If I'm unable to do that, somebody else is in control. And you can use the look below and fail and the look above and fail. I would prefer if you did it in a more liquid stock that has good order flow, right? Trade something that has a following. Trade something that has a large number of trades. Do you guys know how to look at that when you look at number of trades? Instead of volume, look at number of trades. If something trades like, something has 500,000 trades, 200,000 trades, 1,000,000 trades a day, then that's a nice liquid stock. You can get in and out because there's other people trading it. Right? You want to look at number of trades. That's the true test of liquidity, right? All right. So those sellers at 20 just won't go away. They're like a bad cold. Okay? So we're looking lower. They just will not leave us alone. Overnight POC is up here now, so that was good distribution. Now, if it turns up in the next candle, we should have some selling pressure. I'd say just right about here. So if you're shorting and you're short late, right? Like I put in one at 16 and a quarter, not the best short. If it gets over 17, I'll scratch it, right? But I'm just testing this out using the micro. See, there's that 17, 17 and a quarter, right? And I'm flat. I scratched that, right? Because I lost my seller. I have a bad problem with bias. So what I do is I'll say I'm biased, and then I'll watch the price action to see whether or not I'm right or wrong. I used to have a really hard time trading against my bias. So right there, I was biased short. The price action is telling me they don't need to sell under 17 for more than 2 minutes. So now I know I'm wrong. There's a prime example of it. Does that make sense, Alex? I was offered, right? So I'll do a test trade, and if I'm wrong, right, and it's somewhere near an edge, I can flip to the bid, right? Or if it's choppy like this, I'll just stay the hell away from it until we open, right? No reason to get beat up. VWAP at 16 and a half. Thank you, sir. I was wondering where it was. See, I was right on that short, but I was late. You see? Aha. I was a little late. That's okay. You know, and sometimes you'll get fairly large candles in opposite directions, so you can't get quite a read on it. So I'll wait till an edge like this. Now, if we do a look below and fail, you know that there's going to be sellers up here. So what I'm looking for is the sellers now. They were competing here, and then they moved lower and lower and lower. So I'm looking to see where they engage again. So if they drop in, and this thing can't get above 17, can't get above VWAP, then I'm more comfortable shorting it. Thirty seconds to open. Thank you. Yeah, after the Globex session, I wasn't feeling too well. Then I realized that they changed my blood pressure medication and made it stronger. So I was like, that's why I'm so groggy. Looking for those sellers at 19, 20. I'm looking to see whether they come in again. Or how do we take this and go jam it up to 25? Right? So my short bias, wrong. Right? So I don't need to lose like $1,000 to know if I'm wrong or not. Yeah, there's a very secretive website. It's very secretive. It's called Yahoo Finance. Right? Now, the number of short and the float, I don't know how accurate it is. Right? What I used to do in the old days was there was this lady at DTC. I used to send her flowers, and she would actually tell me the SPRs. Right? But you can't really do that anymore. So, right? FinViz is good? Okay. So I'm short 19 and change, and I'm covering in the 16s. Let's see if the blood pressure medication's working. I took them back at 17 and a half. Not the greatest trade. I just saw that seller come back, and that's when I nailed it. Right? Oh, yeah. Back in the old days before internet and all that stuff, we had to, you had to, like, send secretaries gifts to get information, right? Flip stock in your compliance officer's sister's account, right? Short 19 again. Covering at 16 and 3/4. I got one left, and I'm flat. Oh. Yeah, now it's just a Google away. You don't have to, you don't have to send any flowers. You don't have to get somewhat opera tickets or baseball tickets. You know, okay. Can we hold the 20s? It's not the greatest trading conditions, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see if we can take a little long at 20, 21. And I'll put them out at 22 and 3/4. There's one. And out at 23. And I'm just scalping long because, like I said, I'm not really feeling that smart this morning. Seller at 24. It's choppy. It can't be canceled? Yeah. Back in the old days, you couldn't get canceled, right? So in the old days, if you wanted to find out whether a stock is worth shorting, you'd find out whether somebody deposited a bunch of stock into the system just recently. That means that the supply would increase because they're going to sell it. And then you'd watch the chart, right? And then if you knew which market maker they were using, and that market maker all of a sudden showed up on the level 2, aha, right? Okay. So we just can't seem to get over that 20 area. I don't know. My short bias is coming back into me here. Or do we just have a rotation between 16 and 21? Which is what I just realized. I think we got a rotation going on here. Let's see. As soon as you identify a rotation, you don't want to be shorting the bottom of the rotation, which I almost just did. I almost shorted 17, looking for it to break and break 15. And then I thought, oh crap, rotation. Right? So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. I don't know. I don't like that we're holding the open the way we are at 16. It's right where VWAP is, I assume. So we got bids coming in there. See if we get those sellers at 18.19 again. Jeez. What a choppy, ugly mess this morning. I think I'll wait for a better trade. Just beats overpaying in commissions. This should have been my clue. That should have been my clue to go long 17. I screwed that up. Okay. Gosh, if we can hold 20, we can move and retail this stuff out at like 23, 24. But dear goodness, golly. It's that constant seller. It's just been constant sellers all last like 3 or 4 days. I've noticed there's just been constant sellers in this market, which is really um, it's a function of these are just inventory based markets. There's no larger time frame at work here. Not that I can see anyway. Let's see if we catch that 20 bid. Don't be afraid to sell into strength, eh, folks? You know, if you're going long 20, 18, get rid of them, eh? Hit the 22s, get paid. Seriously, get paid. Now it should take. Jeez. See if we can take out that 24 stop. Your target will be the previous day high, just under 28. Here we go. No, we have not, Raj. We have not. I like it when markets change and when they change up because they become harder to trade and then it makes your brain hurt. And when your brain hurts, that's good. It means it's growing. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Wouldn't be any fun if it was easy. Oh, you notice ever since the big lovers quarrel, do you notice that the order flow has been a little different? Anybody notice that? Yes? No? Is it just me? Yeah. Also, there's probably some summertime action or lack of action due to summer. I know if I had made $300 million, I wouldn't be in front of the screen right now. Where do you guys go? Cape Cod. Where do all the fancy people hang out? Nantucket? Take out the sloop, right? On the yacht, exactly, right? Oh, and the rest of us working schleps or grinding for pennies. Yeah, staying at the old ocean house, right? Uh, what a trip. Ah, that's it. Martha's Vineyard. Hey, Elsie, how you doing? Awkward silence after the big fight. Yeah. Uh, hey, Joey. I'm not biased at all yet. I was short biased, and I was wrong, but there's not much oomph to this long move just yet. So it's just kind of a rotation right now, Joey. We got sellers at 24. They kind of stopped selling at 20. Not much business to be done just yet, right? Not much going on just yet. You know, it's like we opened the doors to Walmart and there's not a lot of people coming in. It's only 46,000 contracts in the first 15 minutes, so let's see if we can get some more customers. See, we can't hold that 20. That's what that's what kind of bothers me is that we can't hold that 20. So if I'm shorting 18, 19 against 20, I'll go put some bids down at VWAP and just see if I can slice it. There is a bid, right? So I got two left at 18, 13, and I'm covering them in at 16. Just scalping short. First trade I saw. And that's because we came under 20, right? There's just, in fact, truth be told, I'm over trading right now. Like, I'm over trading because, and I know why I'm over trading. The reason why I'm over trading is because I'm trying to out trade my blood pressure medication. Right? Since they changed the dosage on my blood pressure medication, I'm a little slow-witted. So I'm trying to trade just to see whether I'm on the ball. I should kind of stop. So catch some bids at VWAP. Let's see if that 20 seller is still there. Eh, annoying. And they lift. Oh, there's that 18 seller again. Sorry, 1920 seller, right? They're back again. I did say it would be choppy. I didn't think it'd be this choppy. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Now you don't have to trade this, folks. Wait till the market warms up a little bit. I would not take any more trades in this little range. Wait for an edge, wait for it to break. Come back and test. Yeah, if you can execute in this, just don't overtrade, right? Don't overtrade. That's the only thing. Sometimes, there will be times when you'll be, you'll be totally in the rhythm of the chop and you'll be able to trade it. There's nothing wrong with that. Then I say go ahead. Just always watch your risk and don't overtrade so you don't blow yourself up on commissions, right? Nobody wants to play today. There we go. A little movement to the upside. Now let's see. There's been a seller. They've just been lurking in this area. Let's see if they show up again. Oh, thanks, Zeb. I haven't looked at a CL chart in a while. We do have a lot of active CL traders, right? Exactly, Aubrey. Right. The one nice thing about retail trading is you get to execute when the business suits your terms and conditions, right? It's a very, very small opening range. This is probably one of the smallest opening ranges we've ever had. Lately, anyway. How's Tarantula doing? Little Muscosaurus. Not bad, eh? Up to 318 in pre-market? That's not bad. That's not bad. Nvidia's got that 144. There are sellers at 144, so look for it to like rotate back down. Unless we get some strong buy orders. Whew. It's not a lot of follow through, folks. That's the problem with this price action. Not a lot of follow through, which is a bit of a pain for us because we really, for scalping, we like follow through. Now, what did I forget? What I missed was if you had built a little position between 16 and 19 and used that A low, you could have sold into the 2023s. So, apologies for not calling that out. Like I said, I'm a little mentally slow this morning. Opening range? Ah, well, we were taught that initial balance was the first 2 half-hour periods. I don't really. I was just using at the range of this first half-hour bar, right? Now I know other people have opening range breakout trades and all that stuff. I don't know how they do that. I haven't studied it. Oh, we're creeping up on the 25s. Oh, thanks, Elsie. It's good to have you back. Oh, hope you had a good vacation. Yeah, that's his specialty, right? Mr. Chicago. He does that opening range. He's very good at that. That's his thing. Are you back to work in 20 minutes? Ah, too bad. Keeping the world safe from cyber terrorism. That's always good. Oh, back down to 20 again. Haha, great question, Travis. So Travis goes, why is it so much easier to move price in Globex? You got less people, less traffic. Think of this as a freeway and everyone's trying to get to work. So what is this like? This is like the I-5 in Los Angeles at 8:30 in the morning. Globex is like the I-5 at 3 in the morning. Smooth sailing. 4 lanes each side, right? That's why a lot of traders will use Globex to accomplish their agenda, right? Like if they're long into the close, they'll get rid of it at night. If they're short into the close, they'll try and buy it back during Globex. Exactly. Less orders in the way, and also less people to screw with your orders. How is the NQ doing? Let's go take a look. Oh, where is the NQ? Oh, here it is. 21,848. Hmm. I don't know. I'm still short biased, even though it's just kind of hanging there. I just, for something inside of me, is just wanting to short the hell out of this thing. Of course, I'm not doing it, but I just don't see any follow through. Exactly. Your subconscious knows something you don't. After 33 years, it's just like, just chill out, have a coffee, right? Wait for better order flow. It's pretty easy to prop it up, Mark, because there's no volume. I think people are just, I think after last week's little hoo-ha on Thursday, prop up means don't sell. Now, swing traders will not be selling unless there's a reason to sell. And right now, if you were long 59.40 and it's trading 60.20, you're okay, right? You know what? It's kind of trading like like the day before a long weekend. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from the price action. Like before the 4th of July, those couple of days before the 4th, when everyone's like leaving town, it's got that kind of price action where really nobody wants to do anything. This is a very long A period LC and also a very tight one too. You know, 16 to 25 is a small range. Yeah, we haven't even broken 100,000 contracts. Is anybody is anybody trading anything fun out there? Just curious. There's always some crazy penny stock that's going nuts. Okay, B period opens, and it's 5 ticks, 6 ticks. Boy, oh boy. Did you? Okay. The rollover is not impacting volume just yet. That is a good question. If you bring this over here, you'll see that the new contract only has 15,000 contracts traded. And we've got, where is it here? 260, including the overnight. So it hasn't impacted it yet. It will start to. That's a good thing to bring up. I don't know. B is looking like an inside bar. Wouldn't that be horrible? I will switch over to the September contract, Zach, when the volume catches up. There is a video in the, what section is it? It's the JJ video section on specifically devoted to contract rollover and how to do it. Let me grab the link. Here it is. Copy message link. There we go. This could be an inside bar. uh, which means it's definitely time to go for a walk. It's not good for the action junkies. Oh, okay. Good to have you with us, Zach. Welcome to the room. If you need any help, just DM me anytime. Good grief. Now, in the old days on the trade desk, if it was this slow, this is when we start playing practical jokes on each other. But I guess you can't do that in office buildings nowadays anymore, right? Human resources and all the thing. Yeah, smoke some cigarettes and throw paper airplanes. Yeah, it's a different world. Oh, good stuff, Marky. I'm glad to hear that. Glad that you're getting some use out of the room. And speaking of the room, while it's slow, I'm going to do a little ad here. so bear with me. So, folks, once again, thank you for joining us on this live stream. And if you want to help keep it free, consider joining the Trading Syndicate. And this is where I trade and teach live all day. You'll get direct access to me and all the other pros, and we collaborate on trades. We'll do everything we can to get you nice and profitable and help you manage risk. With the special discount in the description, it's about 50 cents a day. It's month to month. Right? And you can cancel anytime. Plus, you'll learn how to get fully funded with our friends at Apex Trader. Their discount code is in the description. Please check it out. Yeah, there's nothing to be intimidated about, Mark. And this room is the room that we have here at the Trading Syndicate. You know, we've got people who make 5-10 grand a day, and then we've got people who are just learning. And the nice thing about the room is it's not one of those beat your chest kind of rooms. People help each other. Like we won't ridicule people who don't know things because nobody just is born knowing how to trade. It's a learned skill, right? So, and you know what? It's one of the only businesses where everybody starts out the same. Everybody starts out getting their butt kicked, you know? Everybody starts out and everybody goes through the spanking machine a few times in this business, right? So no one is immune. You know, if you're having difficulty with this market, if you're having difficulty trying to figure out what's going on in this market, come hang out with us for a week or two, and we'll help you try and navigate it or build a business plan to keep you from losing money, and then we'll focus on making money. The one thing I will say with the conditions, I've never seen conditions like this, is to really trust the chart. This is a market where you really have to trust the chart. Put your faith in the chart, because the chart is the representation of business transactions as they are occurring right now, right? And for a trader, if you try and trade the macro, and the macro is changing every day, yes tariff, no tariff, yes tariff, maybe tariff, right? This guy's mad at this guy doesn't like this guy, this, right? That's very hard to keep track of, and it's very hard to manage your risk. You know, we're not hedge funds. We can't afford to be early and be offside $30,000 in a position, 100 grand in a position. We can't afford to be early. We can't afford to be wrong for a long period of time. So you really got to trust the chart. Really have to trust the chart. You know, and sometimes the chart says it's slim pickings. Hey, Lear. There's like a wall of selling. As soon as you get it over 20, into those 22s and 23s, there's just a wall of selling. Now, the guys in the coaching class, I don't know how many are on stream. Are you guys up for a price action lab this after at 11? I'll do a quick one. Yeah, it's like a big barcode pattern, Zach. Okay, you guys have questions? Okay. We'll do about half an hour. It'll be a quick one, Christian. Don't worry. There's really not much. I mean, I've talked our way through this market in Globex and in RTH. Let's see if they take their foot off the brake here in the 24s and let it breathe up into the 26s and 27s. Do we have the order flow? Excuse me. Do we have the order flow to warrant raising price? Oh. Bitcoin's taking a bit of a hit. That's only $1,100, just under 110. Nvidia is still struggling. Palantir 133. Tesla 316. Nice look below and fail of 294 on Tesla. And that 271 level held really nicely. Apple, nothing's going on with that stock. Nobody even talks about it anymore. I'll give you guys some SPY levels. Poor high. That's the most exciting thing that's happened in this hour. So we have one tick of excess. That's a poor high. Let's see if that holds. Oh, that's good, Marky. Good. Oh, my goodness. If anybody has any questions, we have 15 minutes. Please feel free to ask. You know what we really need? We need a good liquidation. We need to sell down and take out that A low at 16. If we could take some of these lower stops, we'd get some much better price action. No, Raj, we're about 3 points away from yesterday's high. You on the iPad? Yes, and we have an overnight poor high as well. We have a double top in the overnight. True that. Yeah, this is not an easy market to trade this morning. We knew it was going to be choppy. We didn't think it'd be this choppy. And you can look at how tight these distributions are, right? You know, it gets a little dip, grabs some product, and then just sells it in this little tight distribution there. You know, very hard to trade. So a poor low, it's a good question, Mark. A poor low means that there was buying competition at that level. Yesterday was a great example of a poor low. If you looked yesterday, we had a poor low yesterday in the overnight profile. And when I saw that and I came in later and I said, listen, guys, if the previous day low can't take out or even touch that poor low, you're going to get rotation upwards. Why is that? Because you've got buyers competing at that level. And then if RTH cannot get anywhere near that, it means the bid has moved higher. So if the bid has moved higher, there's no reason to sell under 6,000. You're going to get that rotation up. A poor high is just the opposite. When you see a poor high, like a double top, that's when you short that, you put your stop here, and then you use the levels to cover. Because this is selling competition. So this is where buyers compete, and this is where sellers compete. And here's a little insider tip. These people and these people are the same people. And all they're doing is they're rotating that inventory, bring it back to cost basis, rotate it again. Well, they're not trading the edges. Think about it like a car lot. So this is where you have a bunch of your cars. You sell them to people. They can't afford the payments. They bring them back. You buy them back cheaper than where you sold them. Put a little armor all on the tires. Put them out on the lot again at a higher price. That is wholesale distribution. That's the name of the business. Right? The chart, any chart you look at is just a sales chart. And it's just telling you how distribution and accumulation is going. This is a weekly, this is a daily, right? This shows you how sales are going minute by minute. That's all they really are. We got some action? Thanks, Brad. What do we got? Oh, breakout. Oh, God, I hope not, Zach. Zach is asking, is this typical summer trading for the next 2 to 3 months? I hope not. Because I'm not going anywhere this summer and I want to do some trading. We might have to do, if it's like this, we might have to do all our trades in Globex. Oh yeah, I should watch that thread. Ugh. This is really untradeable here. So like somebody asked, really, there was a good question in the Globex session. Somebody said, JJ, when it's like this, we notice a lot of crappy little penny stocks running. Like yesterday, there was a deal that was trading at $1.50, and it traded an actual $1 billion worth of dollar volume. Right? So they'll go goose those stocks to entice buying to get people to buy. Right? You know, in any business, Zach, right? You're going to have slow days and busy days, right? Even if you run a McDonald's, some days it's going to be slow, some days it's going to be busier, right? That's just any market, any business, right? Roger, holding on to that end of the quarter thing. Give me another week before we start talking about month end, please. You know what was really nice is I was away last month end. That's what your goal should be. As every trader, your goal should be not to be in front of the screen at the end of the month. Make your money and be away from it. Guy starts talking about month end the second day of the new month. Now, folks who are in our ES room at the Trading Syndicate, if you get bored, we have an equities day trading room. We've got a swing trading and options room. We've got it, for those of you who are into NFTs and sports betting, we've got that as well. I have no idea how that stuff works, but Ray is the man and he's in charge of that stuff. And he'll make sure you get some good advice. Yeah, there's no 45, there's no angles today, Raj. There's no angles today. The angle is after this to go for a walk. This is probably one of the slowest RTH sessions I remember in a while, ever since the drama started, right? I'd love to see some liquidation. Love to see some liquidation. Yeah, we might, we need some sell orders. Hey, Doc. How are you, my friend? When stocks start to move, it means guys like JJ need to pay bills. And we start moving paper. Sorry. Oh, look, we got a bid. Let's see if we can stay over 26. But he has really good reasons, right? Change of contract, option stuff. He makes a very good 4 points there, right? It's good stuff. When penny stocks start to move in the summer, it means that people need to fix their boats or pay for their new boats. Let's see if we can take yesterday's egg. Come on. Let's give it the old college try. 4 ticks away. Let's go. It's like those guys. Remember that stock Tilray? Every time that stock moved, it's because some of them needed to do work to their yachts, right? So they have to move the paper. I wonder if it's still trading. Good old crew from Nanaimo. I'm telling you, it's been a slow session, painfully choppy, but very hard to short. Dries, those are different people. Tilray is a bunch of good old boys out of Nanaimo. Dries, that's out of Piraeus. Friends of friends. That was a good deal. DRYS. Even a lip cow can chew grass. Exactly. Yeah. Eating slowly and clearing the fields. No previous day high yet. And back down. No, I don't know that one. W. Jones. That one doesn't ring any bells. Well, folks, I apologize for this horrible price action. Have a wonderful morning. Trade safe. We will see you tomorrow. Come join us at the Trading Syndicate. Jaden, for God's sakes, get some sleep. And that applies to all the other guys in the room who haven't. I see them at 3 in the morning. I see them at 9 in the morning. They never sleep. Go sleep, or you'll end up like LC. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions or issues, give me a direct message, and we'll see the rest of you guys at 11 for the price action lab. Although it's not going to be much of an action lab, it'll be more about price. Thank you, everyone. Do me a favor. Go to the beach for me. If you're by a beach, have some fun. Enjoy the sun. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for being with me. We really appreciate you. Bye for now.